Hi everyone, I'm your host Stephanie. Today, we're going to be talking about HTML. HTML is the code or language used to structure a web page. Just like English, Japanese, or Swahili, HTML is used to communicate, but instead of communicating with other people, we use HTML to communicate with the internet itself. Using HTML, we can tell the internet what we want it to show us. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. You can use HTML to tell the web page many things, including what it should display. HTMLs are composed of elements. If we think of HTMLs as a form of written communication that requires its own grammar, then the elements of HTMLs would be like sentences. These elements are used to describe the information on a web page. Simply speaking, elements are used to tell the web page something. Grammar remains constant. Sentences always start with a capital letter, and HTML elements always start with an opening tag. The opening tag is the element's name in brackets. In English, this is the equivalent of the start of a paragraph. It's where the element starts to take effect. The closing tag is the exact opposite, at the end of the element. The only difference is that it has a / before the element name. You can't forget to add a closing tag. The content of your HTML element is what you want to be displayed on the web page. It's essentially the content of the sentence that you're telling to the internet. You can add an attribute to your HTML element as well. Attributes make it easier to organize and identify different elements. By adding an attribute, you can easily target a specific element when you need to find it and change it. All of these pieces combine to form an element, just like how nouns, verbs, and adjectives form sentences in English. To create a web page, you need to combine elements together. That's what's called an HTML document. An HTML document is essentially a paragraph of elements. Using a combination of HTML code to create an HTML document is the foundation of a web page. Just like the concrete foundation of a building, the HTML document lays the groundwork for the web page. Web pages are formed by boxes. You've seen these boxes before, thousands of times, without even realizing. Where the text is on a page is a box. Where the image is on a page is a box. Where video clip is on a page is a box. Every web page you've been on has boxes. In basic terms, every HTML element is simply a box. What we put in that element determines the shape, size, and color of that box. When you open a website, everything you see is made up of boxes. We use HTML code on the web pages to talk to specific boxes. We can tell the boxes what we want them to do, what we want them to display, and what we want them to look like. Using HTML, we can define the boxes and use those boxes to create the layout of our web pages. You'll get so familiar with HTML that it will be like English or Spanish to you, just another language that you speak. Eventually, you'll be able to code well enough to create web pages using HTML. You'll be defining boxes and using them to create the layout for your web pages in no time. Parlez-vous HTML? You will soon.